Ah, I'm so excited because in 2 days I'm on my way home for Christmas. Christmas for me is about being with my family, and it's been so consistent, and the whole idea around Christmas and to celebrate, all of that stuff is really beautiful, but all I think about is my family. And my boyfriend is coming with me for the first time home for Christmas, and I couldn't be happier at the moment with my life and with myself, and I just feel joyful. Being joyful is my way of life. How do I always find myself in a joyful place? Regardless of whatever is going on in the head, I'm appreciative to that, because it's like everything teaches me about living a life of purpose and a life of joyfulness. Being joyful is a secret of life and gratitude. I find myself in the space of joy because I simply breathe, and I breathe alone. Do you understand? It breathes. This thing breathes. It breathes by itself. And I've come to realize that I am that breath, and it is consistent. My heart is beating. It is consistent. When thoughts pass me, I can look at them, and I can just look at them and know that I am not them. And wow, it's a big motivator to life, because it is, I can find joy in every moment. I can. It sounds really optimistic, but it is in fact what I find myself every morning: joyful. Joyful. Are you joyful today? Oh, my glasses are a little bit dirty. You know what, it doesn't matter. Because I'm still joyful. You know, sometimes I feel like a lot of people probably think that I'm crazy, but I'm really happy about that, because I find joy in that. I find joy in every moment in my life. Just that, you know, that even if it's difficult or whatever, it's like life is, what is not to be joyful about? Like, look around you and see like the beauty of everything, anything that's happening. When it rains, I'm joyful. When it sun shines, I'm joyful. When it's cloudy, I'm joyful. Yeah, people don't think that that's possible. And, you know, it is possible. Even when you are hijacked, because from the observer effect that we talked about, you are your own God. Oh, it is really that. I need no conditions to have joy in my life. Absolutely none. Absolutely no. There's no comparison. There's no competition. There's no place I need to go. There's nothing I need to achieve. I realize that in the state of joyfulness or happiness or whatever, in the state that I choose to be in all the time, that I find myself, this is the choice of wherever I'm standing right now. Doesn't mean that I'm feeling this or that. It doesn't mean that. That my life manifests amazingly. That's why I'm sharing with you, because there is a secret here, my friends. There's a source in the God and the force that is creating realities, and creating realities beyond your imagination. My life is absolutely a stunning thing, with no judgment or labels. No judgments or labels. And I don't feel entitled to anything other than my own choice. In my own choice of living my own life. And yes, I am my own God. And that sounds really, I know what it sounds like to a lot of people, but That's about people pleasing. I am my own God. You're your own God. And this God outside of me is not what I look at. There's a co-creation with the source that is constantly around me and going through me. And you know, I've heard once that there's no out there. It is all in here. Do you realize that we see with our brains and not with our eyes? Our senses are, you know, limited. And by knowing that they're limited, it's miraculous that things manifest, because not with my senses. Yeah, that's a whole scientific thing. But I'm here to talk about joy. And I'm going to read you something again from Ramtha, from the White Book. And because this book is like one of the most amazing books there is. I like it lights up my face so we can share and I can be in the light because you are the light and I'm the light. Listen what this says. What is joy? Joy is the freedom of movement without interruption. It is the freedom of expression without judgment. It is the freedom of being without fear or guilt. Joy is knowing that you are creating life on your own terms. It is sublime movement of self allowed. That is joy. Why is joy the grandest state of being? Because when you are in a state of joy, you are in the flow of what God is. And in that flow, there is no room for jealousy, anger, bitterness, or war. It is difficult to hate anyone. That's what I feel. Like, I have found many sources that guide me, or that confirms in me what I feel. And so I find my tribe, and if you're here with me, like we share the same tribe maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter because I have my own world. That flow, there is no room in the flow of joy and happiness. There is no room for jealousy, anger, bitterness, or war. It is difficult to hate anyone. It is difficult to besiege anyone. It is difficult to hurt anyone. When you are in a state of joy, when you are happy and joyful, you love God, seen in all things. In an exuberant state of joy, you are at peace with everything about you. When you are in joy with life, you cannot feel remorseful or insecure, fearful, angry, or lacking. In a state of joy, you are fulfilled and complete, and life, wisdom, and creativity flow like a mighty river from within your being. In a state of joy, you are inspired to the heights of greatness and the depths of feeling. This goes on and on about joy. And joy is a secret that is right there. And joyful from when you observe the constructs that your mind comes up with and the impermanence of those which change every single moment. Every single moment it changes, everything changes. And by observing that, watch it. You know, if you have New Year's is coming around the corner, and right now is like an opportunity. Every moment's opportunity, but since we used like New Year's resolutions, it's so funny when people do that. But joy, just the joy of being alive, the joy, the appreciation of having that choice to be joyful and happy, you know. It is like almost our responsibility to humanity in our daily lives. Like, you know, what you give out, it spreads, you know. Like, if you give someone, can you imagine just a simple thing? You give someone a hug, or a smile, or, you know, a kiss on the cheek, or a compliment, that is passed on. That goes on to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, and the next person. And the same thing with anger or jealousy or any of those things. We all have those feelings that arise and fall in us, anger and jealousy and all these things. These are human dramas. They're human traits. You are not those things. There is no reason to be jealous. There is no reason to be angry because of someone has done so. Let go of that and live your life in a constant state of joy, of appreciation and happiness. You can do that. You can forgive. Forgiveness is for you, not for the other person. Everyone is doing their best today, and they're creating everything in their lives. And we have to get out of the way of that and not be judgmental to any of that, any of the things that people choose to do. Live and let live. It is that way. It is, first do no harm is what I think. But people do harm. And people do harm out of fear and out of jealousy and out of rage because they want it their way. It seems complex, but that's their choice and their prerogative. Consequences to a choice, perhaps, I say. But I'm here to speak about the joy of living. Just absolutely incorporating that into your daily experience. What's not to be joyful about? It's joy, just the joy. If you have a problem trying to figure out what it is, look at your hands. Look at the prints in your hands. Look at your fingers, the fingers that move things. You know, the fingers that you can talk with, the fingers that pick up this coffee cup, my mouth that drinks this. Gratitude will bring you to a state of joyfulness, happiness. It's a choice. It's a choice, and it's always there. It's always a choice. Feel your feelings. Feel your feelings and be joyful about feeling those feelings. You can feel negative feelings, however you label them, and low feelings, and we all feel them, and I feel them, of course. I'm not saying I don't feel them, but I feel them and I see them, and it's not, you know, don't get rid of them. Don't try to get rid of them. They're part of you, part of the contrast. It teaches you what you don't want. And the flow of life is effortless. It's like the budding of a flower. You are the flower. There's a seed, and you are the seed, and it plants and it goes. We change, our moods change like the seasons. We are the seasons. We are nature. We are that. And all of that is important. Everything is important to promote the feeling of joy in your heart, because it is there for you to recognize this is your life. I'm preaching. I'm not preaching. I'm just so, I find myself just joyful if any feelings of anger or jealousy or anything arises in me. You know, it does, like a little bit, like little thing that is so like grammar school and like kindergarten or something, like the jealousy of, you know, Jack because, you know, he has curly hair and I have straight hair, or he's better looking and the girls. Oh gosh. All of this conditioning has nothing to do with you. You are not that story, do you understand? Take a look at all of it. Take a look at your head. Take a look at your mind. You know, in order to find a state of joy, if you can't find that, the state of joy is always right there. Listen to your mind, or sit and meditate. Close your eyes a minute, 2 minutes, and watch your head. And watch your thoughts. They're not even yours, where they come from. You think that they're yours because you're experiencing them, but they're not. On the other side of that is just pure joy and love and the light that you are. That is Christmas, right? Christmas can be every day in your heart. The joy of giving, the joy of being, the joy of, oh my God, it's just joy. I'm going to read a little bit more before I go. In a state of joy, life becomes the fervor, and intensity of a dawn when the sky is the most beauteous color of rose. The clouds are tinged with fiery red, and birds are singing in the trees. In joy you cease to age and will live forever. For life is no longer a drudgery, but a wondrous adventure that you are only hungry for more of. When joy is apparent, you are at one within your kingdom of self. In a state of such as that, you have found utopia. How do you become joyful? By knowing that every moment of your life gives you the freedom and opportunity to express joy. If that is your desire, and by knowing there is nothing that is ever worth separating yourself from happiness and joy in God. Nothing. And by loving yourself completely through and through, for you love God when you do. However you describe that, this goes on and on because it's such a beautiful book about joy. It is written by an entity coming from not from an entity, a source, and I really believe it. It's a guidance system. Incorporate joy in your life, and it's really your prerogative. It's your prerogative. Let go of everything and conditions and just be in the moment and live from that moment. I'm so grateful to know that, and I'm so grateful that I can find that in my heart every single day without any judgments or labels. Because it is just king for me. It's part of living. Gratitude, joy, happiness, love, it's just there. Have a great day, and thank you so much for watching me, and I will be with you tomorrow morning. Love and light and joy. Bye everyone. Bye.